Hi, and welcome back to this series on using Excel. Now today we're going to look at the sort function. We're going to look at sorting from A to Z alphabetically, or Z to A reverse alphabetically, and then for more control, custom sorts where you can sort by multiple levels. Let's start by getting some data. So the first thing I think I'll do is, here you go, Major League Pitchers. I know I can find data on baseball. And ESPN is a good place to go. And look, here's a listing of the top 40 pitchers. Let me start by selecting the header row all the way down to the last bit of data in that table. And I'm going to copy it. You can't see it, but I'm using a Control plus C. If you're on a Mac, you can use Command plus C. I'm going to click in the first cell, A1, and paste. And look at that, I've got all my data. So maybe I'll spend a minute or two cleaning it up. Okay, that's better. And I can use the sort function to try to extract some information from this very quickly. So let's start by clicking anywhere in this team column, because I'd like to see who's represented here. Click on the Home tab, and then under Sort and Filter, you can just click A to Z, and you can see now they're alphabetized by team. So you can see we only have one Atlanta pitcher here, yet we have 3 Boston pitchers, and it looks like Chicago is very, very well represented. Let's see if there's something else we can extract from here with very simple sorts. This is number of games pitched. So on our list, 24 is the fewest number of games pitched by pitchers on this list, and there are 4 of them. What if I want to see the pitcher or pitchers who have pitched the most games? Again, now it doesn't matter whether I'm in the first cell or in the 24th cell. As long as I'm in the column, I can click and sort Z to A. So this is reverse alphabetical, and in the case of numbers, it would be largest to smallest. Wow, and you can see that Mr. Duffy has been busy with 39 games, and his next nearest competitors have only pitched 31 games. So that's kind of interesting information right there. So, sorting A to Z, sorting Z to A. But what if I need a more complex search? As a matter of fact, this is their ranking here. So let me go A to Z, and that will put them back in the original order because they, in the table, that's how they were listed. If they were not listed that way and I wanted to preserve the order, so when I first brought my data in, if I wanted to preserve the original order and there was really no way to do that, I could select, right-click, insert in front of A, and I'll just call this original order. And then I can drag this down and fill a series. And now I've just given myself a little protection, so if I need to go back to that original order, I can do it. Now in this case, it really matches the rank, with the exception of number 38. I guess there was a tie for 38, so there's 2 of those. And actually, my data is, I noticed when I first brought it in, that this person was further down on the list. So although they're tied, Jake was listed first. So I can resort that, and now they're back in the original order. Okay, what if I need a more complex search? Like, I've done games pitched from largest to smallest, but I noticed that innings pitched, these 4 people have 31 games pitched. He has 206 innings, 193, 172, 205. So it's really not in order as far as innings pitched, and I would like to put it in that order for the subgroups. So in other words, if you've pitched 30 games, I would then like you in order from most pitched to least pitched. And the way that you do that, you don't have to really be in any particular cell anymore because we're going to sort by multiple columns. You're just going to go to Custom Sort. Note first that there's a little checkbox here that says my data has headers. And Excel's pretty good at figuring that out, but it's not perfect. There'll be times you come into your data and that will be unchecked when you really do have a header row. And that's bad because when we alphabetize, this header row is going to be treated like everything else and is going to get thrown into the mix, so we don't want that. There'll be other times where you don't have a header row at all, you just have data. And if this is checked, it's not going to include that first row in the sort, so just keep an eye on that when you come in. You can see that I visited this box previously because there's already a selection in here. Once you pick that your data has headers, it's going to use those headers in this drop-down list to allow you to pick what to sort by. And I'm going to pick games pitched. By the way, if that was unchecked, it would simply be listed by columns, and you'd have to choose the column. So if my data doesn't have headers, I just have to know what column everything is in. But it does. So games pitched. But I'd also like to sort by innings pitched, so I'm going to add a level of innings pitched. And I would like that also from largest to smallest. Let's see what happens. So now you can see that there are still 4 people who have pitched 31 games, but now they're listed 206, 205, 193, 172. So you can see that Madison has had the most game time and Dan has had the least. Now I could go on and we could do lots of examples of multi-sorts. You can add layer after layer after layer in here if you need, and sometimes that's appropriate. But what happens if you've added a layer that you no longer need? Simply select on it. Let me get rid of the first one, games pitched. So now I just want to see total innings pitched. So I select that, and I'm going to say delete level. And now it's only going by innings pitched. Now of course I could have pulled the drop down and changed it, but if I don't want multiple sort criteria, or I don't want as many as I have, I simply can delete them. And now you can see that we're listed from top to bottom, the fewest 146, and the most was actually 206. Sort is a simple but very powerful tool to help you make sense of your data, and importantly to help your students make sense of data. It really can give you a good sense of the meaning of what's in there by ordering things. Now, in our next video, we're going to look at filtering, and these two things used in conjunction really are very, very helpful.